Before we start, I want to touch on something that's been quite front of mind for me recently. I've always kept a fairly close eye on my finances, but over the past year, I've had to properly step back, look at everything again, and think about what I actually want the next chapter to look like. That kind of reset can feel big, even if you're generally organised and on top of things. Money isn't just numbers. It's tied up in security, confidence, and freedom. When life shifts, those conversations suddenly feel more important, and how they're handled really matters. That's why it's reassuring to see firms like Traprain Financial approaching things in such a calm, human way. Rachel and her team are known for being clear, steady, and genuinely reassuring. They don't rush you or overwhelm you. They help you understand your options and take control of your finances at your own pace. Going freelance last year made me think very differently about money too. Planning ahead, building stability, and feeling financially independent suddenly became non-negotiable. Getting your finances sorted on your own terms is powerful. It gives you choices, confidence, and real ownership over your future. Thank you to Traprain Financial for sponsoring this episode of the Hood podcast. Which brings us very neatly to today's guest, Nicky McConnachie.
So welcome, Nicky. You are founder and CEO of 2912.
Yes.
We're super excited to have you here because who doesn't love a little bit of property porn? Sorry,
exactly.
I should say
It's the best thing. It's honestly my best hobby is going online, looking at ESPC, searching where I would live if I could.
the streets.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, I'll just get this right into the conversation because we've not got enough time to find out all the places that you have lived. But before we go around the world with you and coming back to Scotland, what did you actually want to be when you grew up? Did you know? What did you tell yourself?
A really interesting question. I didn't know the answer to that until I was actually about 48 and I set this company up. And that is something that I say to people that actually I now know what I want to do when I grow up. I never was a kid that was like, I want to be an astronaut or a teacher or a policewoman or a police person. It was very much like, I don't know, I had an interest in different things and at the age of 16, kind of left school at the end of 5th year and went straight into work without an intention of a career. Just wanted to be out in the world, meet people, make some money and be independent. And that's kind of why what I fell into originally was financial services, but never having that passion, of wanting to be something. But I genuinely believe that my career and my travels and all the rest of it have brought me to this point to do this job.
But you said that you've lived in so many places. Tell us about some of the highlights of your movements.
So, I mean, not that many places, but lived in London for a year, basically went down there because of work. I got the opportunity to go to Asia. So lived in Bangkok then for 2 years. Wow. Loved it, absolutely loved it. Pre-kids, completely different sort of time of my life. Between sort of 99, 2001 was when I went there, and absolutely great experience. Lots of people sort of questioned me, why are you going there? People who had been to, say, Phuket or places like that had only spent a couple of days or a day in Bangkok, and they were like, you're going to hate it. It's, it's dirty, it's this, it's noisy, it's busy, blah, blah, blah. But it was brilliant. And actually that was one of the first sort of property jobs that I had was in Bangkok, and it was showing expats around rental properties. That was a brilliant, brilliant time. Came back to Edinburgh and kind of worked for a bit, went to uni, and then got the opportunity to go to the Middle East. So basically ended up in Abu Dhabi and was there for 7 years. So again, all the different sort of jobs and my career, whilst it has been somewhat a bit of a path and progression, and the main sort of stream through that has been customer service.
Through all your years abroad, you worked in different roles. You came back to property, is that right?
Basically ended up going back into financial services, but someone that I had worked with previously basically asked me to sell property and set up the luxury arm of the property company that they were starting. So that's where the kind of connection came in, and where I started from was actually selling big houses and smaller ones in Edinburgh. But with COVID and coming out of COVID, people were coming to me saying, I saw that you had this property for sale. Do you have anything similar? Or I'm relocating from London. At the time where everybody thought they were going to be working from home forever, we're thinking, actually, I can come back to Scotland, get a much bigger property for the cost of, potentially a 2-bedroom flat in London, depending on where you were living. You could buy a 5-bed home in Edinburgh. And we'd say, can you help? Because obviously there were still travel restrictions in place and things like that. So at that point, I thought, actually, this is what I want to do. It's sort of marrying my skills for dealing with people, my sales background, even financial services to a point, being able to have conversations and that I understand investments and mortgages and pensions and all that kind of thing. And so that was where 2912 really originated from. So the company was 5 in December. So literally December the 1st, 2020 was when I started on this journey.
Congratulations.
It's exciting, sort of 5 years and a fairly tumultuous 5 years at times, to kind of come out the other side and still be here and still loving what I do. I don't have that Sunday night dread. It's like, self-employment can be 24/7. I was working literally last weekend, all weekend. I had a client here, but it doesn't feel like work. So I genuinely, and again, it comes back to that knowing what you want to do when you grow up. I think, like teaching my kids, for example, it's like you don't necessarily have to come out of school. My daughter, she's doing hires at the moment. To make that decision when you're 16 years old is very difficult. What experience do you have of life to actually then decide what you want to do forever? So it's like actually that great, find something or do something that you enjoy and then find a way to be paid for it.
Yeah.
And ultimately that's what I'm doing.
You're living the dream.
Like, no, totally.
You're living the dream.
Yeah, I love it.
You're showing a lot of, as you say, sort of high profile clients around looking in that luxury market. What is it that they maybe don't see when they walk into a property that you can help them with to open up a vision?
And that's the thing. I think sometimes they have an idea of what they want. And of course, you have to stick to that brief where it's like, actually, I want to be in this area. I need 4 or 5 bedrooms. I want open plan living. And actually, I do work with an architect quite closely where we can go to properties together and be like, actually, this is what you can and can't do. A family home is a huge investment, but actually you have to be able to live in it and be comfortable there and make it absolutely your own. I fought through the divorce to keep the family home for stability for my children when everything else was turmoil. So the house was mine. I sold it and have now bought. And it's actually, there's something really nice about being able to say it's my house.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything that you wish you'd known before that process of a divorce? That's a really stressful time in anyone's life.
If I knew I was going to get divorced, I wouldn't have got married.
Apart from that,
I'm with you on that page.
I mean, clearly love my kids, and I wouldn't have them if I hadn't. But it's a real tricky one, and actually, it's something I work and have offered my services to divorce lawyers as well, because I have made some fairly questionable choices through my life and through actually the last few years when I was going through the divorce.
You obviously hadn't been on a date for a while.
Yeah.
So you're getting ready for your first date. What do you put on? What do you pull out the wardrobe to give you that sort of boost that you need?
Yeah, I can dress very easily for work. I always like to be smart for work. And somebody said this at a very early age, and it's something that stuck. It's like dress for the job that you want, not the one you've got, and all that. So I find it very easy to dress for work or for formal social occasions. I love going out and shopping for a dress. if you put me in a smart casual environment, I panic. Literally.
I hate that term, smart casual. What does it
like,
mean?
What do you wear? Like, please, you need to do an article on that. Or lots of articles. But actually, we just met for coffee. So, in fact, in the Balmoral.
Oh, that's
where we had our
lovely.
first date.
The Balmoral is a hashtag memories place for
no,
you.
absolutely, for sure. And so it was literally just sort of, I have Paige jeans that I love, and actually a blazer and just like a kind of casual top underneath. So yeah, but probably had laid out and tried on about 100 things before. I mean, it was just a coffee, but I do always take pride in what I wear and how I look.
Traprain Financial is a female-founded, award-winning financial planning firm based in East Lothian, working with clients across Edinburgh and the Lothians. They take a refreshingly human approach to money, seeing wealth not just as numbers, but as the life you're building around your family, health and future. Traprain works with individuals, families and business owners to create clear, considered financial plans that help build, protect and preserve what really matters.
In terms of, self-care, everyone brandishes that around these days, whether it's skincare or taking the breath exercises or going for what else do you turn to if you're looking for that?
I'm not good at looking after my skin or anything like that, despite me saying I want to, always be presented well. What I actually, again, sort of in hindsight, I have done and it has now become a regular thing. I love getting my nails done. I just feel that actually I feel fully dressed.
What colour have we got?
I've actually gone for a wee sparkle.
Oh, they're lovely. A twinkle.
Yeah, I do like a wee sparkle as well.
So we're going to just finish off with one last question. And it's one about where you get your confidence from.
My go-to thing, definitely shoes and handbags. Love. So, we'd be happy to wear a Marks and Spencer's dress, but with a pair of Alexander McQueen shoes or something like that. Like that's my kind of thing. I wouldn't say that necessarily I drew confidence, or at least I don't think that I do, that I would draw confidence from them. But I do have, so Alexander McQueen, I have a beautiful pair of red suede shoes with a gold skull.
Oh,
I've had them for years and I love them. Don't, however, get the opportunity often to wear them. I did when I was in the Middle East, because you would be chauffeur driven pretty or like Valley Park at the door of somewhere.
Helicoptered in.
Yeah, basically
That's what you need.
they're so high, and because they're suede, you don't want to wear them when it's wet in case they get ruined. But I think looking elegant and back to this dressing for the job that you want rather than I think probably generally just clothes and being smart gives me the confidence that I need. Being in financial services and property, it is a very male-dominated environment, so go to lots of networking events and things like that. And it's kind of, you want to sort of blend in but stand out as well, and without being like, I can't do it now because I'm in my 50s, but when I was younger, you would wear short skirts and lower tops and things like that. Actually, I want to be taken seriously as a woman, as a business person. So if I feel smart and feel good in what I wear, I think that's where the confidence comes from.
Okay.
I've kind of gone around a bit of a funny way
I think
of
so.
answering
That's
that,
bang on. I'm just having flashbacks to my own Marks and Spencer's experience. I think I must have been 18. When you're having that first internship experience or the first job, and I'd gone in to buy a sort of suit type thing, and it was navy, and I went into the changing rooms and came out, and my mum was sitting there waiting. I was waiting for her reaction and thinking, you look amazing. And she just said, what have you done with Rosie? Because it wasn't me.
Wasn't you.
And I knew it wasn't me, but I think it has to you have to feel comfortable in it. It has to be your own style, but you need to own it as well.
And that's it. I think I would say my sort of style would be classic, but I like something with a bit of an edge. So the red shoes that I'm talking about, for example, for a wedding, I had like a red dress. I mean, I literally was in London looking for this outfit, but I can't even remember where the dress was from. But it was like I bought the shoes first and then bought the dress.
Shoes,
but yeah, exactly. And like I love a fascinator and things like that. So it's about this sort of smart look, and back to me not being able to dress for smart casual or, jeans and a sweatshirt, I'll take the sweatshirt off and put something like more smart on to go and walk the dog if it's daylight, and just stupid things like that. But for me, it's about, I don't know if it's worrying about what people think about me or if they bumped into me and me looking a mess. I would rather look nice and professional. And
I need to channel you more often.
but like at whatever time of the day as well. I mean, it doesn't always clearly work, but yeah.
You look gorgeous
Oh,
today.
bless, thank you.
No, it's been so lovely to chat with you as well. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so
Oh,
much.
absolutely, my pleasure.